with Klay his rookie year. And then the next year, that's when they brought in Draymond. That's when they brought in Harrison Barnes. That's when Steph took off to that another level. For me, watching him grow into a dominant player and seeing how much he meant to the franchise, the organization. But I've seen this before. I saw when Jason Kidd left New Jersey, he turned the franchise around and they were like, you're on your end. We don't know what we want to do. And guess where he ended up? He ended up in Dallas with still left in the tank and won another championship. So we see this often. I will say this about Klay. The Warriors look really bad right now. Say what you want about a competitor who feels like he's disrespected, and Klay, how he's been up and down. At the end of the day, this looks far worse on the Golden State Warriors for not being able to get a guy that's still averaging 18 and 39% shooting. You're not able to bring him back with really, we're not seeing much of a plan around it.
So to Perk's point, Brian, I mean, what does it mean that Klay ultimately chose to go with the Dallas Mavericks versus the Lakers and ultimately the Warriors?
It means he's angry.
Yeah.
He's angry. Things a lot of times end badly, otherwise they wouldn't end. It's a famous saying for a reason. You know, the Warriors were in Chicago this last year when the Bulls were celebrating the, I don't know, whatever year it was. And you remember
the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Jerry Krause, who's passed away, got booed, if you remember. And I remember, you know, Steve Kerr was out there when it happened. And I remember thinking, like, this is sort of a warning to the Warriors. Don't, when you come together in 15 or 20 years, don't get booed. But it's hard. It's hard to end things this way. And look, the reason that they stopped playing him is because he wasn't getting it done. The reason that they only offered him, what's that?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the 0 for 10 in the the play-in game and all that.
They felt that the other players were better options.
Well, no, let me also say this really quickly. I've never shared this before out of respect to Klay. It was on Christmas Day.
Of this past year?
Of this past year. I get off the elevator and I see Klay. Oh, Klay, what's up? Oh, what's up? I'm like, hey, man, keep your mentals right. He's like, man, tell him to pay me my money. This was on Christmas Day. So on Christmas Day, a guy that had won 4 championships, and I don't give a damn what anybody says, how much money they gave him over the years, because he turned their franchise around. That franchise is worth billions of dollars, not just because of Steph, it's also because of Klay. They changed the game. It wasn't just Steph changing the game. It was Steph and Klay in that backcourt.
Absolutely.
So I say that he has a right to be mad.
He bet on himself.
Yes.
He said, I don't want the 2 years, $48 million.
Mm-hmm.
He bet on himself, and then he didn't have a good year.
But that's fine. That's fine.
Standard.
You can have hundreds of millions and have a bad year and be like, you know what that does? That means if you're going to treat me this way, I'm going to go someplace else. And now the Warriors are left, and Klay's in a much better situation.
And he walked for nothing.
And walked for nothing. Almost nothing. They got 2 second-round picks. That's nothing.
But here's the thing. Even Klay, bad year was better than a lot of guys' great year.
I agree with that, and they were willing to pay him $24 million a year.
Yeah, but Wendy, it goes back to the point of what he watched other guys get, right? When you go back to watching Draymond Green, if you go look at when he got his $100 million, his stat line wasn't eye candy.
Ooh.
It damn sure wasn't attractive.
And it wasn't coming off a perfect year.
Yeah, so it was almost as if, you know, they were paying him for what he done in the past and not what he's going to be able to offer in the future. Klay like, well, damn, I was part of this, and I helped build this.
Yep.
Why I'm not getting the same respect?
Yeah,
but
he had reasons to turn it down. I'm not saying he had his reasons to turn it down, but then he was playing in a situation where they literally said, we're going to take you out to finish games, we're going to take you out to start a lineup.
Right.
That happened.
I think timing is important here. So Wiggins gets his new deal, and Klay's looking around at all this. Wiggins gets his new deal after they win the title and after he plays the best basketball of his life. Draymond gets his new deal a year later after in the second round. The difference is he's an unrestricted free agent. It's a now or never kind of thing. Klay had time left. I'm not saying it's right. And like, if you're Klay, you helped make this team what it is, and the bitterness is completely justified.
But at the end of the day, the Golden State Warriors, they have to be thinking, okay, what's the best way to maximize the end of Steph Curry's career? And I guess they've decided that Klay Thompson is no longer a part of that picture. So, Brian, can the Warriors Mavs remain 11-1 to win the title after yesterday's news broke about Thompson joining the team? All right,